Welcome to the Neighborhood Pulse. Wherever you are in life, you never forget the neighborhood. This is the show that talks all about real estate. Hear it from the industry professionals. Join our good friend Kevin Callback from Realty Executive Cornerstones and Eddie Martinez from MSB to learn what the Neighborhood Pulse is. Today, how to find a motivated seller in a really non-motivated market. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Think about that. We were just talking about that non-motivated or motivated without traction, right?
We're motivated.
We're motivated.
We're more than motivated by it.
That's it.
But man,
We got buyers that are motivated, right? And they're writing the offers. They're out there and they're moving and grooving and trying to get it. Again, we're still short on homes for sale.
Right.
That's the biggest problem we got. Would be my concern. Even interest rates have gone up. Have you seen a big dip in business on your end?
I think we've seen just about the same steady app volume, but I think it's gonna slowly, slow down a little bit.
Right.
Maybe gas prices have something to do with it. Who knows, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's huge for some people, right? You're driving down to the city or what have you. My brother's a truck driver, and his bills have gone up significantly.
I bet.
It's huge. It's huge. So so apps are down. I'm sure you're not getting any refis now. Are you getting?
No. I think the thing that's still out there for the most part are maybe home equity line of credits, home equity loans, people that just want to have that cash ready to, put in a cash offer,
right?
But not the volumes that we were looking at in, early in the year,
Sure.
for sure. As we're getting into the middle of the year and things are still somewhat the same, if not getting a little bit, higher with rates, and not only that, but the effect of food cost and gas. I think all that really takes a toll on people to just double think about, do I want to sell and relocate? Where do I relocate?
Right.
So hopefully today we can provide some insight.
Right.
So a lot of folks out there looking to
Solutions,
make the
right?
next move. Right.
That's what we provide. We provide solutions. We're thinkers and teachers, and just passing across. It was for agents. You can look up Zig Ziglar back in the day,
Right.
as I used to listen to his tapes. Is in order to last, you have to list. So you really got to be a listing agent to make it long term in this business. Or there are people that can make it as buyers agents, but typically it's more listing agents that are seem to be around the longer term and doing better business, right?
Right.
So the trick is how do you go from being a buyer's agent to being a listing agent, or doing both successfully? First thing is you got to get some sellers on board, right?
Right. And I think at the point that we're at now is, you got to maybe bring back some old school trades, trades of the line of work. You got to just, go outside your comfort zone and just try new things.
Absolutely.
And hopefully with what we covered today can help and, inspire someone to become a motivated seller today and call Kevin Callback.
That's right. That's it. We got a new agent joining us. And we're excited about that. Jordan will be joining us actually next week. She just passed her test yesterday, so we're going to show her all these tips and tricks and get her to be successful. Right?
Great.
So that's going to be fantastic. So people move for a lot of different reasons, right? I mean, so sometimes there's life situations. What would you say are some of the top reasons people are moving for life changing experience?
I think for a job, that's probably number one. They're relocating, their jobs moving here. Hey, let's move the family. You get some of that with military family out there. Salute to all the people joining in the military as well. And again, what if family relatives pass on and
grandbabies,
right?
And grandma wants to be close to grandbabies, right?
Right.
Or your house is too small because you had a grandbaby, so now you got to get a bigger house, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of opportunity, and people vacate their homes for a lot of different reasons. We're not seeing a whole lot of foreclosures in our market yet. So across the United States, looks a little bit different in different areas. Right now, we're not seeing a lot in this area yet, but they are coming. They're starting to trickle in. I've shown a couple of them. HUD Homes, FHA foreclosures. So we're seeing quite a few gonna happen, but aren't quite here yet. So
what's your thought on that? As far as we can't really pinpoint a time frame from when we'll start to see them,
right?
In volumes, but this kind of gives me a eerie feeling like 08, 09 again, right?
Yeah, the nice part about it is we've helped some folks that they can no longer afford their mortgage payment due to whatever the circumstances, divorce, death, loss of job, whatever the case
Loss
is.
of job right now is, right there,
Yeah, but I see a lot of jobs out there, but maybe not making what they need to make to make those bills, right? So it's kind of crazy. But the nice thing is they're able to sell the home and walk away with a pocket full of money, and maybe go back into renting for a little bit or downsizing.
Right.
So it's that's been a blessing for a lot of people. When they all hit the market, I think the bank is going to slowly release them. I think if they flood the market, I think it's going to screw up the economy. Go from a great time to a recession or depression right quick if something like that was to happen.
Right.
It would drop home values significantly, and we don't want to see that at all.
Right. No, we don't. And that's where I just put all these things together. Like, how much does our gas prices impact everything else, our food? I don't talk much about politics and the war in Ukraine, but that might trickle into what
Sure.
we're providing and how that's going to affect our tax dollars. Who knows?
Absolutely. Yep. The tax dollars. So gas prices because of Ukraine, allegedly up, right? I saw $5.15 a gallon. Now that might not be big for some places, but for our area, that's a lot of money for a gallon of gas.
Yeah, California is in the sevens. They're saying we're gonna see tens.
Really?
And I think I'm gonna have to get a scooter.
That's right. That's right. You should get a Mustang Fastback.
I know. We're gonna have to swap it out to an electric engine or something.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That is pretty funny. Yeah. So a lot of reasons. So when agents are trying to find listings, they got to start looking for these types of lifestyle changes.
Right.
And you can look at graduations. You can look at the obituaries. You don't want to be an ambulance chaser, but it is one of the places where you'll find that. And you want to look in, talk to your title companies, talk to your city inspectors.
Right.
Find out what's going on in people's lives. Watch Facebook amongst your friends and family. You're going to see a lot of opportunity for people that are saying, "Hey, we just had a grandbaby. Hey, we unfortunately, we had a loss of job. It's a big one that people are like,
Right.
We're going to be able to make these payments, right?" So those are some of the reasons people are doing it. So they got to start looking for those life changes, and they can do it by talking to friends and family as well, because friends and family are a great resource for what's going on in their lives.
So new realtors, even in realtors with some age, will spend a lot of money buying leads, right?
Absolutely.
There are companies out there
Yep.
who you can buy a list of, quote unquote, potential motivated sellers.
Yep.
What you guys are talking about today is save your money. There might be some different ways
Right.
of finding those motivated sellers
Absolutely.
that'll be a little bit more effective and cost efficient.
Correct.
Right.
And this is one of your best friends right here is these telephones.
Yeah.
Is you gotta become a friend with that, and you can't be afraid to call.
No.
Because when you're calling to find people that are selling their homes, it could be a long list of rejections before you get somebody to accept. Say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I am looking to sell. It used to be one you would get for every 100 dials you would make.
Right.
It's the numbers, right? Every 100 dials you would make, you'd get one bona fide lead, right?
Right.
So it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
It is definitely a numbers game, and I think that now more than ever, like you started the show earlier, it's at least planting that seed. Hey, let's plant the seed. Let's revisit. Let's water the seed. Let's see it grow so that we can harvest it. And the tips that we're going to provide today can hopefully help some people out there that are looking for creative ways, maybe inexpensive ways to generate these leads, and just do things the old school way, and just incorporating the technology of today to help you
right
get there.
A lot of opportunity for that, and we're talking about 101 lead for every 100 dials, and now that has changed to 160 dials.
Mhm.
So you almost have to double the number of calls you're making.
Yeah.
So if you're afraid of your phone or you don't like making calls, that could be tough for you.
Yeah.
But we talked about in person as well, so you can go knocking doors. I have a client right now. She says, "I want this neighborhood. I want a ranch. Find it for me." We go knock doors. We start, hey, if you considered buying or selling in the near future. If they say yeah, then great. If no, then we keep moving, keep knocking.
Right.
A lot of doors in that neighborhood, so we're going to be knocking a lot of doors.
When you hear the term, Kevin, drive for dollars, what does that mean for you?
Drive for dollars, maybe I think more. So there's a lot of different things with that, but your internal drive, you have to have an internal drive too. But you
Yeah.
also have to drive your business and look for business.
I
You're
think
driving
that's
through
that's
neighborhoods.
probably the most important drive is your internal drive. You know,
Right.
your motivated drive to find those motivated sellers.
Right. That's right.
And if you're thinking, oh, there's nothing out there, the market's where it's at, then you're already dimming down your power source,
Right.
your energy. So drive for dollars is, you know, like you said, very impactful. You know, go out there and see yourself
Yep.
what's
Absolutely.
out there. You know,
Yep.
regardless of gas prices and whatnot.
Right. There's a lot of gloom and doom out there, right? So agents out there got to remember not to buy into that, because once you buy into that, you start powering down, you start looking for a different career maybe, or a different move, and that's not really what you want to do. There's plenty of buyers and sellers out there. You just got to find them, right? You got to be that guy that's going out there and working for your business.
Even driving around your neighborhood, see
Yep.
what's out there. There's a lot of you know, for sale by owner.
Right.
See what they're looking at, the newspaper, the classifieds.
Sure.
Doing some of the legwork yourself.
Right. Absolutely. Doing legwork. Yeah. And what are some of those signs that you see when you're driving around town, right?
So I mean, what I've seen lately is you know, even lots for sale.
Mm-hmm.
If you own the land, then it's easier to do a construction loan for those types of people looking to buy a house, maybe build your own home.
Yep.
And there's a lot of options for just creative ways to do things now. You got to get creative.
Right. Yep. That's it.
One of the best things as you're driving for dollars, right? I always say, and this comes for lenders as well as realtors, is look up. Now people are like, what? You can't just drive. Look at roofs.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's what I mean. Usually if there's a house that there may be an older person at, or somebody who isn't able to take care of things as well, or maybe
Sure.
maybe they have already moved or something and the house is vacant. Usually you'll see a lot of leaves, maybe some branches and things on the roof line.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I mean, like dead ones, not just hanging over the house. It's like they didn't get taken care of in the fall.
Yeah.
Something, you know,
Trees
your
growing in the
roof.
gutters.
Yeah. If you watch, your roof and your roof line will tell you if you potentially could have a motivated buyer.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's too big, or there's too much there to perhaps, you know, take care of.
That's it. In new construction, when people are looking in areas to buy, I like to look in neighborhoods that were built about 16 to 20 years ago, because a lot of those folks moved in there. They had
Mhm.
kids. They were growing them. Now they're graduating, and that house is getting to a point now, like you said, is it needs going to need a roof. It's going to need a furnace. It's going to need a hot water tank. It's going to need a fair AC. So people are like, you know what? Maybe it's time to move on. Our kids graduate high school, whatever the case may be, or maybe it's just time to move because things are getting to that point.
Yeah.
And you don't want to replace them. Like, roofs are expensive, windows are expensive,
Yeah.
furnace, you know, those all cost money. So you got to be careful. You know, when you're looking, I like to look in those subdivisions that were built 16 to 20 years ago, and we find a lot of homes popping there.
So for our producer, question for the producer, when I like that idea of, you know, look up, look at the roof. Maybe there's a motivated seller, you know, maintenance, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
How would you go about making that contact? Do you leave a card? Do you?
I think you always add value, right? A good realtor always adds value, and say, hey, you know, you can go knock on the door, and let's say that an elderly gentleman answers the door or something like that. And you can say, hey, you know what? I noticed that there, you know, you had some leaves and stuff in your valleys, and you know, here I'm Kent. I work for Kent Real Estate, and you know, I've got a guy who could come and help take care of that. You know what? You know, would do it pro bono. Yeah, if you have that person, right?
If not, it's you.
Yeah, if not, it'd be me going up there,
Yeah.
right? But the idea is now I've added value to that person, and now I can have a deeper conversation. I'm not just going to knock on the door, go, "Hey, you look pretty old. You're not taking care of your place," because when
is going on here?
and
Bumblebee tuna.
yeah, and you know better than anything, Kevin. That person may have been there for many years and is emotionally attached to this place.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it doesn't want to necessarily, that doesn't know that it's time to sell.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes they need that nudge, that little push
Yeah.
to just get them to that next chapter in their life.
Right.
Yep.
And
You know?
that's it. And if not, like Ken's saying, is providing that value because maybe they can't afford to have those repairs
Mhm.
made or something. So maybe you can put them in touch with government resources
Yep.
or community groups that help in situations like that because sometimes they can't afford to move. They don't want to move. They don't
Yep.
drive anymore. Maybe they have routines. There's a lot that goes into it, but there's a lot of value you can provide. And even if you wind up just getting them services to keep them in a better place,
For when
not
the
get a
time's
roof
right, you'll
leak
be
and
first in
stuff.
line.
Yep.
Reminds me of that movie Up. He's not moving.
Right.
Right.
But for this example, we're looking up at the roof
That's
to
right.
see
Look
if we
up
can
the
help
roof.
out.
That's
So,
exactly
what
right.
are your thoughts about calling your local attorneys? Keeping some close contacts with them,
Yeah.
and
So agents should be calling their attorneys. They should be calling their lenders. Anybody they work with in a lending financial institution should be reaching out to them. One is they not only they might come out across a qualified buyer, but they also might have bank-owned properties that they're going to be marketing. So that is an opportunity to get involved with. Totally different animal than regular home sales. But representing a bank is something you can do, and you can build those relationships.
especially those real estate attorneys and the
Right,
ones
yeah.
that focus on
Yeah.
properties. So
Absolutely, and you know what? Attorneys and buy investment properties. So and sometimes they buy them at the auction or whatever. You can get paid on those by representing them, even though you don't have to do much work with it, right? Because they're going through the auction, you write the offer, and that's pretty much it.
Mhm.
Because it has is earns money right quick. So you can represent people that are buying investment properties. It's built into the price. It doesn't cost the buyer anymore. So if so, why shouldn't the realtor that works with them on a regular basis get paid?
right, kind of just keep more of a face-to-face relationship from time to time, position yourself to be there. As any agent out there, these are helpful hints and tips to
Sure,
just
absolutely.
help you, move things up a little bit, spice things up.
Absolutely, and try to use the people that you're asking for referrals. That's the thing too is don't be calling strangers. I've got a lot of lenders lately calling me, asking me how they can help. I'm like, you have the referral.
Absolutely.
Got anybody looking
Yeah.
to buy or sell? Well, no, I was asking you. Good deal.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I did see the market is shifting a little bit here. Interest rates have gone up to 6.5, 6, well, 5, between 5 and 6%.
High fives,
A little
low
higher.
sixes,
Yeah,
yes.
low sixes, right? So we do see a little bit of a hesitation. Some of the first-time buyers have been priced out of the market. Some of the home sellers have realized it's cheaper to stay in their house now than it is to sell it.
Right.
Because we had Matt, I'll just go by first name, was going to sell his house. We started looking at homes to buy. We ran all the numbers, and he says, "Wait a second." He says, "If I sell," he says, "I'm going to increase my mortgage length, and my payment's going to be very, very similar. Even though I'll downsize and I'll save money on gas and electric and stuff, this house will be paid off in 7 years." He says, "I'm not moving. Forget it.
I'm gonna wait for the wave.
Right.
I'm gonna wait for the wave.
I'm waiting for interest rates to be 2.5% again. Right. That's kind of crazy.
As you
Who
talk
else?
about attorneys, what kind of attorneys are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
But you were saying you're talking
Yeah,
about
real estate attorneys.
but you're also talking to divorce attorneys. You're also talking to estate attorneys because they know different things going on in people's lives. You can talk to resource attorneys, HR attorneys, because they know when people are getting new jobs and people moving in. And some of these companies, like I don't know, bigger companies do relocation packages. So if you
Yeah.
get in contact with those attorneys and those companies and build that relationship and provide some resources, you can get your foot in that door. My biggest recommendation on that is don't dork it. Just pay
Yeah.
attention, be prepared, know your stuff before you walk in the door.
Right.
Don't show up going, "Hey guys, what's up?" Because it's not going to work.
Name's Eddie.
You're going to have as a card. You take a card, you get a card, you get a card.
Here's a good one for both lenders and realtors. You should really make friends with people who do reverse mortgages. And here's why. Here's why I say that. Is a lot of families don't quite understand reverse mortgages and think that they're going to take all the equity out of mom's house, so we need to do this. Where a lot of families may end up going, you know what? Thanks for the information. No, we're just going to sell the house.
Right. Absolutely.
So a great thing to do is to really get in the pocket of somebody who does reverse mortgages,
Right.
to say, hey, if it doesn't work out, hey, let me know how, and
Yep.
we can work
Second
together.
that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The other is estate attorneys. I would stay away from your real estate attorneys. Why? Every other realtor and lender is going to be asking them. However, right now, more and more and more and more long-term care
Right.
facilities are popping up.
Oh yeah.
The long-term care facilities are now buying large houses, so it feels more like home.
The boomers are at that age now.
Yes, the boomers are doing that. So a good thing to do, if you know a good estate attorney as well, is, hey, it's going to cost $6,000 a month to have mom and dad stay at this long-term care facility. And you only get so much a month, or the insurance only cover whatever, right? But an estate attorney might go, oh my gosh, I know this realtor. I've got a real good relationship. Kevin can, get this house sold for you and get the money that you're looking for to help out. So I would look for those type of attorneys locally.
Absolutely.
Or
reverse mortgages. Yeah. And the first thing most, I should say, some long-term facilities do is they put a lien on the house. As soon as you say, hey,
you betcha,
we're going to move in, they're like, okay, great, here, boom.
Yep.
We're going to take your house. If you get to that point where you can't afford it, you don't change your situation, is you're going to walk away with they're going to wind up selling that home, because otherwise they don't get paid at the end of the day.
That's right.
And they do have long-term insurance too. I think it's good to know those insurance agents that provide that. So as those people are cashing in on those plans, maybe you can be there to help them. And we're not trying to be gruesome here when we're saying talk to estate attorneys and talk to long-term planning and stuff. Those people have a need that we're trying to fill.
Absolutely.
That's what it is at the end of the day.
Just pretty much an all well-rounded circle there,
Right. Yeah. Relationships make the world go round. That's for sure. And that's all real estate is relationships and education. And that's how it goes.
The key though, as what we're trying to do with helping realtors, is understand you have to you're going to have to start paying them for gold. It's not like it was 6 years ago where you just walked around and you handed out, oh, you're a realtor, I need to sell my house.
That's right.
Doesn't happen that way no more.
No, there are 1.5 million NAR members, National Association Realtor members.
Wow.
That are licensed, and that's a lot of people across the United States.
I thought you said NRA.
Yeah, maybe that too. I don't know, but NAR for sure.
Shout out to all the NRA members out there.
No. Everybody say hi to everybody.
Yeah, National Realtors Association.
That's right. And then National Association, National Realtor. So I think it's important there. And we've got the other thing you can do is we talked about phone calls. We talked about drive your neighborhoods, look for some of these signs of somebody maybe moving. But we used to mail. That used to be our big thing. Newspapers used to be a big thing. I mean, technology has really changed what we're doing, right?
Right.
And I think more of the new and some back to the old.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you learn to just use both. Both are great ways to just generate business and at least awareness and get your name out there. Networking and direct mailing, those kind of go hand in hand. Eventually you keep staring at that flyer that comes in, and it'll motivate you to make the call, or eventually you network with the right people that connect you with other people. And now you have great exposure out there in your community and in the area that you service.
And it's a timing thing too, so that's when somebody is thinking about selling their house, realtors are top of their mind, so that farming piece is important, that mailer is important at the right time. And the best way to do that is through farming. And we'll talk more about farming in another episode, but farming is you have to work a specific, there's many types of farms, but one of them is to work a neighborhood and consistently market to that neighborhood and show them the property updates and show them the value and show them what you have to offer. And always have a call to action. You got to have that call to action on your mailers, because people will say, hey, I sold this house over here. And people are like, oh, that's fantastic. It doesn't say call me, or I have more buyers, or make sure there's a call to action on those mailers.
You think a lot of people are doing mailers now? You think it's coming back? What do you see out there for a producer and you, Kevin?
definitely coming back. Definitely coming back. We're seeing a lot more farming than we've seen in the past, and that's just to look at my own mailbox as I'm seeing some come through. And I always like to see what other agents are sending out. So I always just bring it back to my office and save it because
I'm like,
maybe
hey,
it's a good
what
idea.
is it?
Like, who is that? What are they doing? So I think mailers and sticking with a certain area, or you can shop different markets. Now it's careful. We got to be careful because you don't want to discriminate or be considered discriminating. I know Facebook has changed their marketing terms a number of years back. Was if you are a realtor, you're marketing real estate, you have to market in a 15-mile radius.
Right.
You can't market to, like, say you wanted to. There's a new subdivision going to your area. It's 55 plus. You couldn't just advertise to people in that age bracket, as you have to market to everybody in a 15-mile radius.
Right. And back to networking real quickly. I think that's just something you can't stop doing. You gotta just keep doing it. You might not see results right away. You might get a few hits here and there, but as someone wise said, hey, keep at this for a good year or two, then your phone's gonna start to ring.
Yeah.
And I've seen those firsthand, of that person. We won't name who it is,
Right.
but I've seen that live, firsthand, and I think those are the grinds that you got to go through to just get your name out there, get exposure, be part of your local chamber in your community, and then just again provide value and be someone that people can trust.
Yes, absolutely. And you're the consistency. Everything we do has to be consistent.
How often would you say you spend out there networking and rubbing shoulders and whatnot with people?
Well, it depends who you're networking with, but we're always networking. Whether we're in a store, you see somebody or you see somebody at an event, chambers, you've got realtor organizations, and we do it quite a bit. We'll travel across the country to different conventions and stuff to meet other realtors, just to see what they're doing, how are things with them, and build those relationships. So when you say, hey, you know what, I'm leaving Illinois and I'm moving to Florida. Hey, I've got an agent down there I know, and they're really great. They go to classes, they're educated, they're experienced, and you're building those relationships. So it happens all the time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It never ends. The chambers are. I know you're pretty active in the McHenry Chamber, and
right.
I know a number of great chambers around this area. So we're very blessed to have that for sure.
So absolutely, anyone looking to just get more exposure, just join any kind of activity you can where you're giving back as well.
Yep.
That's the best way to get your name known and build trust with the community. I think that's just key.
Volunteer work is huge too. Getting involved in your community service programs is really important. So that's kind of cool. So when you're looking for buyers and sellers online, is there special places you can look?
I mean, it's just going through it, anything that you can find when you're doing your search. I mean, I can't think of anything top of my head right now.
Sure. Social media, right?
So social media is obviously one. Marketplace, you'll see some things there, and who knows? Why not call those people that are for sale by owner people?
Absolutely. A large percentage of people that start out for sale by owner wind up listing with the real estate agent.
Right.
They see the value, they see the experience, the expertise, and the marketing. So it's important to make sure you call those FSBOs and get in front of those folks.
Not only that, but what if something's not done right and something can happen with you listing the home by yourself, not having an attorney present, or who knows? Not all states have to have an attorney, but I think that's just the safest route to go.
I do too.
And keeps everything legal, keeps everything the way it should be.
Yeah. I have a different opinion on that, but my opinion is if we're an attorney state in Illinois, why do we use attorneys here, but right in Rockford, the next community over, we're not using attorneys? I don't get it, right? Yeah. Either we are or we ain't. I don't care which way we go, but let's be fair with everybody.
Let's keep it equal.
Not that's part of the show today, but that's my opinion. And I'm just going to push it out there. Craigslist is another great place to look, right?
Yes.
Craigslist, and people are putting them out there all the time. And it's amazing, when you're marketing a listing out there, how many hits you get on it as well. So great place to look is Craigslist. Like you said, Marketplace, online newspapers, another good place, right? Homes and Land, not only do agents advertise in there, but so do homeowners. They have that ability. So Homes and Land is a great place to look as well. So a lot going on there. So as we talk about, finding these folks, how do we get a hold of them?
Right.
So where are we looking? Where else can we find them? So agents can look in the MLS. The MLS has expireds. You don't maybe want to look at, I mean, obviously you'll work on the ones that just came out, but you're looking for the seasoned expireds. And, talk to your local MLS or Board of Realtors. They should be able to set you up on a search that shows you homes that were listed maybe a year, 2, 3 years ago, depending on how far back you want to go. And they were on the market, they expired or canceled.
Yeah.
And they never came back in the market. They were looking to sell at one point. What
Right.
was their motivation, right? And that's really our key, is find out people's motivation, see how we can help them achieve their dreams.
That's when you get the address and you drive there.
That's right.
You just drive there and you take care of it yourself. And that goes back to what we talked about is, doing things old school. If you see the sign out there for sale by owner, knock on the door, give them a call,
Yep.
leave your card.
Absolutely.
See how you can help them sell their home. Hey, I got a buyer.
Absolutely.
I got an agent. I know you're looking to sell on your own, but at least hear them out. This can help you, sell your property quicker, especially if you've seen in your neighborhood that for sale sign for a long time. Beginning of the year is a long time.
That is a long time, yeah.
And you've seen them. They're
more
out
than
there.
30 days is a long time these days.
So I think one thing too is a whole lot of nothing is worse than a little bit of something, right? So as a realtor, I think you have to be creative, right? And there are people right now who are developing land, who are building, who are doing things. Well, maybe they don't want to pay you the 5% or 10%, whatever your going rate is, right? I'm not, we got a lot of listeners everywhere.
Right.
But maybe you go to that developer and you say, hey, here's what I'd like to do. Take my time, money, and expert to market this, that, third for 2% or something, right?
Sure,
Just
a
something.
discount of some sort.
Yeah.
2%.
I don't know I don't know all the legalities of how you do that, right? Because that's not my playground. But I think a lot of times, especially as lenders, we get caught up with, well, I'm getting this much on my commission, and
Sure.
I haven't closed a sale for a little bit.
Right.
However, if I were to adjust maybe some of the things that I do or the way that I get paid, maybe a little less for more deals ends up being a better deal than a lot for none.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you can do it in bulk, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's like going to a car dealership. You got 100 cars to choose from, right? So if you go to new construction, there's a lot of different lots, and you can get a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, right?
Oh yeah, but that just allows you to just keep going and kind of pay yourself back for all the legwork you're doing as a realtor, of course, and even as a lender. Like, that's a good point. Talk to a local builder, have a conversation, see if something comes up with that, and if you're not a right fit for them, maybe they can refer you to someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not the end of the road. It's
The
at least
construction lenders are always offering these deals,
Oh, yeah.
special incentives and such. And I'm not going to talk.
Hey,
about
no
that.
closing costs.
Yeah, they're going to give you all this stuff, and I'm thinking, well, hold on a second here. And we're not going to talk about that. That's
another show as well.
Just write that one down for the next show.
That's right. So once you start looking out there and you're finding people that are motivated to sell, you find people that have had a graduation, you find people that are downsizing, you find all these folks that the expireds, your seasoned expireds, your FSBOs, you find all this. How do you get hold of them? How do you actually get in contact without going to their house? Right. I mean, that's one way.
Yep.
Right.
Facebook,
right to the house,
Instagram.
right?
I mean, there's all these, networking and social media out there as well.
Right.
And I think that also, like we've talked in several other shows, that start with your own family and friends. Have those conversations. Yeah. Hey, so and so graduated. What are you guys thinking about doing?
Right.
Oh, this and that, or we're getting ready to go here, and that just creates the conversation.
Right.
And you plant the seed. Hey, we'll talk about that later.
That's it.
And then you just approach it when it's appropriate. But at least start with your friends and family and get your name out.
Sure.
And they'll start referring you to good folks as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's the most important to make sure that you stay in touch with your past clients. Like 80% of the people, so they interview buyers or sellers, and they say, okay, Mr. Seller, you sold your house. Why didn't you use the agent that you bought it with? One, they say, I don't know if he was still in the business. I never heard from him since, right? And the other thing is, like, great guy, liked him, just pick somebody else, a friend of a friend, mentioned this guy, so I used him.
Right.
So important to stay in touch with those folks.
Build a relationship for sure.
You got to keep that relationship going. I mean, we have a great time with our clients. We're out there looking at houses, we're laughing, we're joking, and then 6 months down the road, that's it.
Right.
We're done talking, right?
And they say, hey, from what I hear out there is there's a 5 to 7 year average of people staying in that house.
Sure.
Position yourself to be in that 5 to 7, especially if this is going to be the career for you, to be a realtor, a lender, whoever.
Sure.
Just be in position, contact your old clients, like you said, and make sure you're on top of mind of them.
Yep. So we call it the 5, 5, and 5, right? Make at least 5 phone calls a day to past clients, right? 5 thank you codes, just note cards. It doesn't have to be a thank you code, note cards, and 5 emails. So you're constantly in touch with people. And then once a week, take somebody out to lunch or meet in person. Make sure.
Yeah, I'm taking me to lunch.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I was going to have a burrito with you today. It's kind of funny stuff. And I want to warn people, as you are calling people out there, there is the do not call list. You have to pay attention to that. And if you're going to text them or email them, there's the anti-spam for both texts and the emails. So make sure you don't get caught up in that, because those are large lawsuits that you'll be very, very unhappy to be involved with.
Is there a time frame to not call? How do you find out if they're on a do not
I would
call?
check with your local states. I think we're 6 months after you have a transaction with them. After that, you can't continue to call them unless they're cool with it.
Yeah. So. Here's the way to create or find a motivated seller, I think, is stop selling. Right. and listen to what I'm saying. And this is for lenders. This is for realtors. Is I know you're hungry, but that desperation will turn me off faster than anything.
Yeah.
However, if you're going to offer value to me, now I'll listen. Right. Excuse me. But the idea is, what value are you giving me? So, Kevin, I know that you work very closely with the Ramsey Corporation.
I do, yeah.
That's a huge value to people.
Sure, absolutely.
How do you budget? How do you do things?
Right.
You offer a lot of value in what you do, as I've watched your career. It's not sell. It's, hey, here, let me help. Let me give you an idea,
right.
and let me offer value to you. And that way, now, you and I met years ago. Right. 10 plus years ago. And I told you, I said, when I'm not in the market to move, but when I am, you're going to be my guy. And I followed up on it. And I've got a lot of friends who are realtors.
Oh, absolutely.
And I had to tell them, I go, listen, nothing personal, but I gave this man my word years ago.
That's it.
Right. And so, but you've always offered value, not just in what you do, but who you are outside of things. Hey, I want your family to win. Here's some ideas on how to budget. Here's,
and you have that emergency. And we don't always sell somebody else. Sometimes we walk away like, you're not ready.
Yeah.
You need to rent another year. You got to get your bills paid off. You got to get that emergency fund in place. You've got some steps to make before you can get there. And it's called baby steps, but baby step 1 is, have a $500 budget, just something in the bank in case of emergency. If you get a flat tire, it means you're not going to eat for a week or something,
right?
Or you're not going to be able to drive anymore. So make sure you do that.
Not only that, but be knowledgeable of the home that you're showing, and you got to wear different hats and say, hey, this looks like it might need this or that, not just, hey, buy this house. It's for you.
See that chalk outline on the floor?
Yeah.
Pay no attention to that.
Depends on the.
Just put a rug over that.
That's right.
What smell? Just open the windows.
That's it.
But I think that's a lot of mistakes that a lot of realtors do, and you'll see now with the downturn in the market. With not as much inventory, you're going to see a lot of the realtors who got in over the last couple of years when the title tsunami was great, and lenders as well, start to go, well, I'm not in that anymore. I'm not in that. Didn't work. I say, well, the deal is all you were doing was selling, or you were sitting there smoking a cigar with your feet on the, oh, hey, another deal. All right, I got this.
There you go.
Call my processors.
but the idea now is now you're going to have to be creative. Now you have to work. That's why I love the Neighborhood Pulse is helping these people be better at what they do.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the key. Is always to leave people in a better position than you met them. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the key. So as we're talking about anti-spam and such, is there's companies out there, Crisscross Directory, Haynes Crisscross Directory. There's the
Mac Dad will make you.
Remind the title company. Contact your title company. They give you a list of names and numbers.
Beautiful,
yeah. So that's a great place to look too. And then do work with your lenders and your attorneys and such, and throw client events for their clients, your clients. You've worked with them. I mean,
public notices. Yeah.
Public notice.
Open
Right?
the paper again, right?
Yeah.
Go back old school. Open the newspaper.
Old school paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, newspaper.
Flyers.
Flyers.
Go to the grocery store, see what's on the wall, see who's
Here.
posting anything. You never know.
Yeah, another
There, advertisement written.
there you go.
Press
Another
verified, $2.99.
another couple ideas is what one you guys have listed here is take a look at vacation properties or become familiar with the VRBO or whatever that's called, and
Airbnb, that's
Airbnb, because there are people there who may go, you know what, I'm looking for something quaint in Woodstock's kind of that old fashioned town, Kevin. If you find something, let me know. Well, here's the deal. You're just opening another avenue, right? Because you're in that chat group or whatever. Whatever.
Right. Yep.
So there's just some different ideas. Now, the lenders can do the same, but a lot of time these Airbnbs, they're a cash deal.
Yeah.
Cash. Yeah, and they're good, but and know your local ordinances on those
Yes.
too, because the unincorporated Lake County here in Illinois does not allow them at all.
Right. At all.
But now if you're in Fox Lake, you can do it, which is in Lake County, but it's incorporated.
Right.
So you know your local ordinance, know what you can and can't do, know what the turn is. I mean, be knowledgeable about what you're talking about, as always.
Absolutely.
And we always recommend that.
Yeah.
Because Airbnbs can be very lucrative for everybody.
All right. So just to go over it again, and I'll put them up there, how to find motivated sellers and a non-motivated market. Number one, you guys have Drive for Dollars. Number two is contact local attorneys.
Yep.
3 is network with city inspectors and officials. 4 is work with reverse mortgage lenders. 5, direct mail marketing, going old school, go back to direct mail marketing. 6, look for work with first time or for sale by owners, first time buyers only. FSBOs, FSBOs, I think you call them.
Yep.
Look for vacation properties, and then go through the expired NMLS, the seasoned ones, I think is what you called it, right?
Yep, I think season one. I mean, the fresh ones are good too, but the seasoned ones, I think, is a market that's less tapped into by many agents. A lot of them forget to look back in the past.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's important to have that, and make sure you follow your local ordinances and rules and etc.
And always provide value. Leave an impact. Footprint on someone's mind.
Yep, absolutely. Even better than you found them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, but true. And so there's a lot of opportunity out there. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. My number is 708-277-3913, Realty Executives Cornerstone. And we got
Eddie Martinez, 815-995-5111, MLS 437-138.
perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us this beautiful Friday afternoon. We look forward to connecting with you soon. Peace.
That is it for all of us here at the Neighborhood Pulse. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for getting caught in the net. Come back at 3 for In the Know with Steph and Joe. They're going to be talking about funding your own small business or getting a commercial loan. And then tonight we wrap everything up at 8 p.m. with the Dream Home Experts live from Quiet Coal Studios.
Nice.